he's on.
Good. Well, I don't want to help.
Good evening.
Oh,
I snuck in.
Hank, you did?
I'm so small, I'm hard to know.
Usually you're coming in at 6.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess. Now, do you, when you go golf, and do you take your golf cart with you? No. I was wondering if that.
No, that's funny when I used to see his golf cart up at the lake.
Down there in Florida, out in Orlando, and that,
Villages.
yeah, they all have golf carts and they take them to the golf course.
My brother and sister, my brother-in-law and sister are with me now. They live there. They've been there for more than 6 years. That's the mode of travel.
Yeah, golf carts, yeah.
Yep. That's a work cart. We use it around the house a lot. I haul wood in the winter. You'd be surprised, that electric motor, man, that thing. You put a ton of wood on that thing, as long as you don't.
Go back, yeah. Well, they say these Teslas have a lot of power. I don't know.
They're unbelievable.
You would know better than us. I guess.
Yeah, but go to a Tesla dealer, when you pull in, ask them how many are new for sale and how many are there for repair, waiting on parts. Probably equal amounts.
It's about as good as she can be, you know. Does a lot of sleeping now.
To get more chairs.
So to find somebody to walk with her. She can outwalk anybody.
I heard you got your motor going.
Got it 3 times over.
3 times over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's more work. Plenty of chairs up here, folks.
Do you race ball?
Thank you.
Oh, Jason Dixon.
Chief.
Oh,
When you chuckle, makes you dizzy.
We can, file it when the meeting's over, or I can get with one of my officers.
I think it's more likely to blow engines than that thing. Going in circles, right? More likely to blow engines than that crap race and blow in circles.
No, really.
No, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm sure that I could rather do the same thing.
I'm working.
All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get started here, please. Stand for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Wait, could we please have roll call?
Mr. Barlow,
Here.
Mr. Kyle,
Here.
Mr. Love.
Here.
Okay. At this time, we'll start off with public comments. Do we have any public comments tonight? Please state your name and your address, and we'll do this in single file. Do you got any comments tonight?
I'm Roger Johnson.
What's up, go ahead.
Go ahead.
10 Charles Ball.
Thanks, Roswell.
And I guess my comment is, I just wanted to ensure you were going to cover the recent going-ons up there. Last time I was here, you said you didn't have a comment because it wasn't on the agenda. This time the citation's outstanding, and so I would assume maybe we have something.
Okay.
And if that's what's going to happen, then I'm good.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead.
Mark Farrell, 9 Strawsball. I'm just, same thing. We're getting these notice of violations. Last one says, this is a legal notice. If you do not intend to comply, you should contact your attorney. You are directed to submit the required storm water management plans for approval within 30 days. So we need to address that tonight.
Anyone else? Okay.
Vicky.
Yes, go ahead.
Holly Solano, 13 Strasbourg Trail. So, I think we all have questions, right? You guys are gonna cover your piece, but I wondered if I could comment what I heard from the county today and clarify how, like, it fits together for us as residents and make sure that the town piece is what we understand. 'Cause-
Go ahead, Chris.
Okay, so what I understand from, because we've all gotten 2 letters. We've gotten one from the Soil Conservation State and County District, and we got a violation letter from the township. So you guys can only comment on the township letter, correct?
Well, the thing is, we, PMCA, that represents the township, sent out those letters.
Okay, but the letter from the County Conservation District, you can't comment on.
Correct.
Okay.
That is in Adams County.
Okay. So,
And Adams County, any questions has to be directed to Adams
okay.
County.
So right now, and I want to just share with you guys, because I'm catching up, obviously I'm out of state, and I'm trying to make sure what to do for compliance,
Right.
so that I know what our course. My understanding is that, one, the short term, the county soil conservation district is requiring us to do short-term fixes to stabilize the damage that has been done on all the lots.
Correct.
And then we submit photos or proof to them for that piece. And then second, we have to submit some sort of stormwater management plan to you guys to rectify the damage that doesn't qualify, that ended up in the town level violations.
That'll go to enforcement, that would be PMCA.
Okay, so the letter that came from PMCA, the management plan also goes to PMCA?
Yeah, the
Okay.
thing about that is we, once the county was made aware, the township was made aware of the violations, and the, code enforcement officer it was turned over to code enforcement. Once that was turned over to code enforcement, we have no more, and the code enforcement will follow the letter of the law, and, with the enforcement side of that, the township now is just like, okay, whatever you guys say needs to happen, that's what happens.
Okay. So then my understanding is there are 2 more levels for us as property owners as recourse. So those have to do with compliance as property owners, because ultimately whatever happens on our property, we have to deal with. But the other 2 layers that then we have, and I'm checking to see if this has anything to do with the town or not, because I don't yet understand Commonwealth. So this maybe is a John Lisco question, that we can pursue criminal charges to rectify the vandalism and recoup our money, and or we can pursue a civil case to recoup whatever money is required to, that we were required to invest to comply with violations we didn't create.
That is my understanding.
Okay, so we have like 4 levels of things to do relative to a violation done by someone else. Okay, thank that was all, just to clarify the process.
Anyone else?
Dave Gebhardt, 33 Strasball Trail. It's been, for years, it's been a problem with the township and our water going across the road. Why don't you all tell us what to do with it? I mean, I don't know, and I've been in excavation my whole life. Water goes downhill. If you live at the bottom, you're gonna get the water. So, you tell me.
Yeah, I understand that, David, we're not engineers, the supervisors are not engineers, and we're not
Yeah, but there's a complaint about
It is
it
a
all the
complaint.
time.
Yeah,
So
well,
if you all wanna complain, you should be able to tell us what we're supposed to do. Or you should find out from somebody. It shouldn't be up to us.
unfortunately, because of the situation of that area, it is up to the residents of there.
Now, it's up to the county for approving the development.
County, not the township.
Right. But we don't wanna really hear from you guys. We gotta do something with the water, cause there's nothing we can do with it.
Well, see, the problem we have with the thing is, the stormwater management plan was sent down from the state level to the county, and the county had to distribute that throughout all municipalities in Adams County.
Right.
And we had to adopt that per the state order. So this is not a township mandate, this is a state mandate. And the state is the one that sets the rules of how stormwater management is done. We, as a township, are only able to make, not really make, the only thing we can do is have our enforcement officers to make sure that those things are in compliance according to stormwater management. Other than that, we have no control.
Well, the whole place was never done right.
Oh, and I understand that, I will never argue that
That's
point
where
with
we
you.
need to go back to the county, us and you all, because our property is affecting your roads, right? So, there should be a way we can work together somehow and get with the county. I know Alan Beckett held the whole EMS plan back there because I helped him out some.
Mhm.
And he got it passed somehow. So, I mean, you all should have some pull to go to the county
Well,
and
see,
ask them why.
that's the unfortunate thing that people misunderstand. They think that at the township level that we have pull. We don't.
Yeah.
We really don't have pull.
No, and it's gonna require an engineer.
Yeah,
And it's
that's
gonna take some money.
Wait. An engineer put the original plans up. It's not done to the original plans.
So then whose fault's that?
That would be the developer
Okay.
and whoever approved the roads, because they had to have been approved at some time.
In my view, without talking to the solicitor, but in talking out loud, I think that would be the recourse you would have, to fall back on the developer, to rectify those problems. The water coming to the township is an issue, as you stated yourself. And, our roads are designed to hold so much, or drainage ditches and so forth. And there's runoff, as you know. And I think that might be a good starting point for you as a community, since it is private, and go from there. John, what do you have to say about that?
They're not public roads, so it's really not a township matter, they're not public roads. As far as them being approved, if they were public roads dedicated to the township would have went out and inspected them before they were dedicated, but they're not, they don't meet township specifications. And so they're private roads.
I mean, evidently you all don't understand. When you put that many houses in, everything around it has to be able to take the water, the traffic, or whatever. So whoever designed that said Bullfrog Road was good, the ditches were good, the pipes were good.
And
I mean, it started way back.
And you're right.
You're right there.
Unfortunately, it started back, I don't know exactly when the time period was, but it was in the late '70s, early '80s. And the stormwater management plan for the state and the county and the township was not even in effect at all. And those things have been changed over the years. And unfortunately, the development has done nothing. From my understanding, and I don't know a whole lot about it, my mother used to live back there. She owned the house back there herself. There was originally a home association that was in there, the home association went defunct, and nothing happened. So I don't know how to rectify that problem as far as that, because like you said before, and some of the other residents I've talked to, you know, they're taxpayers just like everybody else. But unfortunately, the law states we cannot do anything upon township private roads, period. It doesn't matter if it's Risk Trail, or if it's College Trail, Airedale Trail, we have multiple roads in the township that are, private roads.
I understand
You
that.
know that, and so we just can't go in, and it's not only us, it's other townships have the same exact problem.
Okay, we don't want you to come in, but our water's gonna go across your road, your pipes aren't sufficient to carry it. Now, whose problem is that?
Well, it's not that our pipes are not efficient to carry it, it's the way it's going down the roads and coming out. The stormwater management, as I said, under the stormwater management laws, and you can pull those up yourself and look at them at state. It's very clear in the stormwater management. You cannot, and it's not just for township roads or anything, this is property owners. You legally cannot run water off of your property onto your neighbor's property. Period.
I know that.
Period.
I mean,
That's
that's
the storm,
everywhere.
and that's part of the stormwater
That's
management.
everywhere.
That's part of stormwater management, and
But when we get it to the ditches or whatever.
you're not
the heck
supposed to do
we
that.
wanna call it.
You don't even supposed to direct it to the ditch. You're
When
supposed to-
when
you're
water
supposed to
hits the
retain-
yard, or it rains, it goes down through
That's
the
why
yard,
they-
you
that's
don't
why-
catch it all.
That's why they're doing these tension ponds and all this other stuff that they've put into place over the last 20 years, is to catch the water before it ever gets to roadways and everything else. The MS4 is stating that any water that comes to township roads has to be, not for us right now, because we're not under the MS4 plan, but the MS4 plan states that you must have a collection site for any runoff water that comes down into the roadway, down the ditches has to have a collection site. Then it has to be, just like, some other places where it's, a treatment center, the whole 9 yards. We're not at that place at Liberty Township because we don't have that populace that mandates we have to do that. Other townships do. I think Washington Township may be one of them in Franklin County that is now under the MS4 plan. But that is something that is coming eventually to Liberty Township. Especially if they continue to do development in the township. You know, if Wormall ever kicks off over here and does development over here, or you know, some other development comes in the township and starts developing 400, 500, 1,000 homes, then that will put us into the crust, and we'll have to look at the MS4 plan. And everybody has to be in compliance. It's not an easy situation to fix, it really is not. And it's unfortunate, we really don't have a lot of answers. We have the stormwater management plan is in one of the ordinances of Liberty Township, and our code enforcement officers have to enforce it.
And if they are, they need to look at it good and see what isn't right and hasn't been for years.
Right.
So, I mean, they're really not doing their job. When they come out and took pictures or whatever they did, a lot of those ditches were like that for months. I mean, Adam did some, but a lot of them, that's the way they've been for years even. I mean, I don't think y'all have been back there, or anybody rode through in the last 6 months or 8 months before this fine stuff come out to see what it actually looked like.
No, we've been back there.
We've been back there, we've been back there.
Okay, but the code enforcement hasn't.
Yeah, I don't know, code enforcement,
So,
you know, that's the thing. You know, if you
They
walk-
have a charge associated with any visit, so.
But yeah, if you go down Signor, which you, for familiar, Signor has ditches cut all the way down through there from water running down that hill there. And the road is very narrow down there, and you got washout on the road and everything else, but again, we can't address that. I mean, we've talked to the fire department about the issue, about fire vehicles not being able to get back there, EMS not being able to get back there because of the road conditions and the water, cutting, across the roads and all. But again, it all falls back, we legally cannot touch those roads, period.
I'm not saying you across the roads.
And the landowners unfortunately are stuck with doing something with it if that's, ditching the road correctly and piping it and down to the creek bed or whatever, that's kind of how I guess it has to go. Like I said, I'm not an engineer, I don't know.
You're saying that all the water that comes off of the Risk Trail area coming to township roads, when it gets to that point is the issue. Is that what you're saying? Is that
Well,
what
that's what you all see the issue is.
Well, it is an issue, no doubt. But what Mickey's trying to explain is the fact that water, a great deal of it shouldn't reach there. Yeah, there's gonna be natural runoff from rain and snow melt or those kind of things. That I think pretty much in general, the ditches that we have would handle that. But, you know, I don't know what the answer is. It's a quagmire. It really is.
Well, not really, the pipe should have been put in right, but I'm not gonna waste their.
Well, how long ago do you think
Because
those
we're not
pipes were put in?
Yeah,
Well, you're replacing roads, if you know that's a problem, what's it cost to put a bigger pipe across the road? I know what it costs. You all should be able to do it for $3,000 at the most. I mean, I'm not dumb about all this stuff,
I'm saying
you
you're,
know?
I'm saying you're in
But
points.
I'm not gonna waste y'all's time, every time I talk, I just waste y'all's time, so.
No, you don't, it's
Well,
insightful.
no,
how
point of
you
view
feel
is
about it.
very important. I mean, I wanna hear your point of view and know what you think and how you feel about it, but then we gotta come up with an answer.
Right.
And sometimes those answers aren't what you wanna hear or what we wanna do, or can do, so.
And the bottom line today is if we could address those things, I would like to, but we can't. We legally can't because of the situation with the Risk Trail development. It's a private road, it's a private development, we can't do anything in private.
I didn't mention anything about a private road, I said the pipes going under your roads.
We do deal with those. We do deal with those, and we dealt
Well,
with
you
that.
know they aren't big enough.
Well, I wouldn't say that. We've had engineers out, and we've had a couple of them out there on Bullfrog, even this past year, to do some road studies out there, and they have not indicated we have an issue with our piping on our roads. And we just had them out there last year.
Then I'm just stupid.
No, I just, no,
Go
you're not
ahead,
stupid.
I wanna drop it, cause
Go
I'm
ahead.
not getting.
So today's, well, collectively for all of us, I hear, we've got the transition point between the private and the public that may or may not be a standing issue, and Dave's got some background. And then we've got all the violations on individual lots. I heard you say that we are not yet needing to be compliant with MS4, but if we have to either collectively as neighbors come up with a plan or individually as property owners, I wanna confirm what exactly our plan we have to be compliant with. Is it the stormwater
The stormwater
management
management.
design assistance manual appendix C?
Yes, because the
Okay.
MS4 is not,
So
it's
where
not
do
a private
we
Liberty Township.
obtain that document that all of us need to check for compliance on each lot?
Is that on the website?
Yeah,
Uh,
in the E-code.
Everyone that has property
It should be on
with a
the-
house
On
on
the Liberty Township
there
site?
is
Yeah, it's on the
Okay.
homepage.
stormwater plan to
Okay.
that property.
Thank you.
Mhm.
So that's all you need to show them, this is what it is. I
And we
mean,
keep that
you really
copy
don't
here.
have to do anything till you get that. And I'm
The
looking
original
for all,
plan?
I'm look, yeah, that was done by the builder. The builder had that plan done.
And so
So-
they're, yeah, and so they're in violation,
you
but
don't
they
have-
don't
You don't
exist
have a
anymore,
home.
so there's no way to go after a civil or a criminal because they're defunct. As a
I'm
developer.
just saying, there
Yeah.
should have been, if you have a home, that there should have been a
Right.
stormwater
Oh,
management
absolutely.
plan.
Absolutely. Okay, so that document, that is the compliance document for existing, for the it doesn't apply just to parts of our neighborhood, it applies to
It
the
applies to the entire
whole
township,
Okay,
the whole
so we
township.
don't have to worry about like picking and choosing which management plan applies to which lot,
No,
okay.
Just as an aside, you guys, your hands are tied on Winshaw Road, you need bigger pipes under there. Anytime we get 2 or 3 inches of rain, you gotta close the road, and you guys can't do a damn thing, not because you don't want to,
yeah,
because the state is not letting you get back to you with the permits. So it's about a similar situation, only this is a public road, and they still can't do anything because of the government higher up not letting them, because the permits ain't coming through.
Well, then that's not the property owner's fault.
well, no,
No, I'm
just
talking
saying,
about the township being able to do something to a road and the state's not gonna let them do it. Won't, I don't know, how long we've been waiting for the permit?
2015, I think.
Yeah, 2015.
Yeah, so what's that,
No, what I
eight
was saying
years?
is, it's not the property owner's fault that the rest of it isn't good enough to handle what was left being built in the township.
And
I mean,
again,
all
Dave,
those
those
should be
a lot
looked
of
at.
those houses were built prior to the stormwater management plan or anything else. Now, the ones that are, the new houses that are being built should be compliant with stormwater management as far as their house, the new houses that are putting in there.
Who maintains that document?
The stormwater management plan for the new homes,
Or existing homes?
for existing homes, that would be, the township has those documents, doesn't it, for the homes that are being built with stormwater management, Wendy? Is that the documents we would keep here, or?
Are you asking, if someone builds a new home, they have to put in a stormwater management plan, yes, and that goes on file, an agreement you can get it at the clerk's office, it's on, the recorder's office, it's on file with your deed and plans and everything else, your stormwater management plan.
To the county clerk?
That the
Yeah,
county,
they go to the recorder's office.
What happens to existing? The existing is
As you're
grandfathered.
saying, existing non-conforming, I do not have a degree in zoning, so I say no to that.
that would be.
But I do know how to file the stormwater management plans, and they are required for buildings, and they do get filed in a stormwater management plan agreement between the township and the property owner who builds the home, and it goes on file, like I said, at the recorder's office.
And all that also goes through the planning, our planning also, and it goes, not only does it go through our planning, it goes through Adams County planning. So it goes through both, the township planning board, and then it's reviewed by the Adams County planning board and approved at both levels.
So there's a stormwater management plan for each house in our neighborhood that went through town and county.
If the stormwater management was in effect,
If it was
It's still-
after the ordinance was
after the
adopted.
ordinance was done.
It depends on when your house was
If
built.
it was prior to the ordinance passing.
So do we know what, can we find out what year the stormwater ordinance took
Oh,
effect?
yeah.
To know which houses it,
Wendy might be able to answer that, or it might be on the website, so.
With you not having a house on your property, you won't have a stormwater.
right, but it affects all of us, it's the whole neighborhood, we're all gonna
Yeah,
have to
but
pay
I'm
for
saying you won't
compliance.
have one for your property.
Yeah.
Like you
Until
do
you
one
try
for
to
the
get
home.
Right, but I'm still being required to create one in order to not be in violation. So this is where, yeah,
I don't
so
think,
I have to, if I'm gonna be in compliance with the letter of violation, I still have to prepare a said plan and said design, even though I don't have anything in the effect that if there was something that has to have drainage, so.
I don't think you do, because there's a lot of property back there. And
Well,
I
violation
know
letters.
they don't have stormwater management for a property that's full of trees and
Yeah,
whatever.
Well, currently, I mean, I'm going to step out on a limb here, I believe it just applies to currently the ones where the ditches were altered or cleaned or whatever was done back there. Those are the people that got the letters, not anybody else. Am I right in saying that, Wendy, Mickey?
so
That's
because
correct.
my lot was
So-
vandalized and trespassed, now I have to come up with a storm management plan even though it's vacant. That's what I
It's a
do.
violation.
I would check with them and
Yeah,
discuss that
we
with
can
them.
talk to,
And that's a good question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, this is why we're asking questions, trying to figure out
Yeah.
like where
yeah,
our
sure.
responsibilities for compliance, because of course I intend to comply, but the maze of how to do so is a little bit.
Well, see,
perplexing, so.
you know, we have an outside enforcement, so they go by the code, they know the code, they can explain things to you.
So this is the PA Municipal Code Alliance, this is the outside code enforcement that does
Yes.
that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
They should be able to help you with any questions you have
Okay.
on, and how to respond to the letter and what you need to do to
To
come
make
into
sure we're in
compliance.
compliance and avoid fines, okay.
Any other questions? Okay, we will move on to supervisor's comments. Bobby, do you have anything?
No, I don't have anything.
Do you have anything?
No, I
I do not either. Thank you guys for coming with your questions tonight too. Did everyone have an opportunity to review the April 4th, 2023 regular minutes?
I did.
So can I get a motion for approval?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
The Treasurer's report for April 2023. Did everyone have an opportunity to review the Treasurer's report, and if so, can I have a motion for approval.
Make a motion to approve it.
And I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. The expenses for invoices for 4/5/2023 to 5/2/2023. Did everyone have an opportunity to review the invoices? And if so, can I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Got a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, we'll go on to payroll. Payroll is for 3/26/23 to 4/8/23. This is retroactive. I reviewed and approved payroll, and I'll make a motion for that. Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
The second one for payroll is 4/9 through 4/22/2023. That's retroactive. Bobby, you reviewed that?
I did, and I'll make a motion to approve it.
I'll second your motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We'll move on to the police department's report.
Police department for April 2023, we worked 225.5 hours, put 2,060 miles on the car. We used cars, plural, used 172.8 gallons of gas, answered 19 911 incidences, had 2 misdemeanor arrests and 1 felony arrest. PSP handled 9 calls out here in the township. In the township here, we wrote 20 traffic citations, 4 faulty equipments, and 3 written warnings. We also worked 25 hours in Freedom. We wrote 5 non-traffic tickets out there, wrote 17 traffic tickets and 15 warnings. Highland Township, we worked 25 hours and had 7 traffic tickets and 2 warnings, 2 written warnings. Couple of highlights, our new Ford Explorer is still currently being upfitted. There are a couple things in it that we need in it that are on back order right now. There's supply chain issues everywhere else, I guess. So we'll keep on that. Sergeant Rusin attended a DUI conference last month. We did submit our quarterly reports for the grant too. Wendy submitted her part and I submitted my part. Those were both accepted. We did, in accordance with the policy manual, we did delete video body cams that were over 60 days old. The other thing I wanted to bring up tonight is the Patrick Leahy Bulletproof Vest Program. You guys have a handout there about that. Basically, that's a grant. We've gotten it here before. I got one, I think the first year I was here. We bought 3 new vests at that point in time. This is the same grant. It comes around once a year. And basically, the township, it's a matching grant, so whichever vests that we pick out, they will pay for half of it, and then we pay for the other half.
What is one on running?
I think right now, they're probably running between, it depends, we'll get a level 3, so they're running anywhere, depending on manufacturer, between $900 and $1,200 a vest.
When do ours expire?
Rusin's is expired now, I think. Mine is good. Bose's is good. Weichert's is good. Ammerman's is good. So Rusin is the only one. We only really need one vest right now. So if the board approves it, I'd like to go ahead and apply for that grant and replace that one vest.
So we'd have to pay half of that $900 to $1,200.
Correct.
All right.
When is the grant process deadline?
The grant opened last week, and I believe it will be open until sometime the end of June or the middle of July. I think it closes. I don't think it says on here.
No, I was looking right into it.
Yeah, no, I think it closes, I can find out for you, but it closes, I believe, either the end of June or the beginning of July.
And is this a grant that we normally would get, or did it, this is pick and choose if we get it or not?
It's pick and choose whether we get it or not. Like I said, the last time I applied for it, we got it, and that was in 2019 when I started here. So I would say the chances are pretty good that we'll get it if we apply for it.
All right, I'll make a motion to go ahead and apply for the grant. Have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Yeah, hopefully, that'll work for us, that'll be nice.
Thank you.
Do you have anything else for us?
We did, have the oil change car inspected and new tires put on car 2. And some work done on the oil.
Did they give us any updates on the new vehicle, when we might be able, because originally when Bob and I took that down and dropped that off,
Right.
the guy told me we would have that car the first or second week of May,
Right.
and
No,
now I'm saying that's not.
it is not, because he said that the cage for the cage that goes in between the, passenger in the back seat and the cage that comes up front, they're on back order right now, and there was 1 or 2 other things that were still on back order, but the cage, I think, was the big thing that was on back order right now.
How's the scheduling working out, in general for Freedom and Highlands? Has that been going pretty smooth?
Yep, that's been going smooth, those hours are in, with ease, so,
Okay.
yeah. And I think both of them are pretty happy, with the services they're getting right now.
Well, they have meetings coming up, what, next week?
Tuesday and Wednesday next
Yeah.
week.
Okay, do you have any questions for the chief? All right, chief, well, appreciate that. Thank you again for coming and being here today with us and being able to give us a report. We'll move on to the zoning enforcement, zoning, actually, for the zoning place, we had, 1 permit, that was issued to replace a roof on Track Road. That was the only, permit that was issued for April. That's $45 we bought for that. As far as the ongoing violations, there's nothing else to report at this moment, time. I think there's some court dates coming up here in May sometime, to address some of those issues. There's 2 open violations, I believe. So that's where we're at with those. There's nothing really to report on that, at this point in time. The road department. So the road department, this past month, we used 56.5 gallons of fuel, gas, and off-road diesel was 43 gallons of off-road diesel. Truck 160 drove 495 miles. Truck 133 was 43 miles, and truck 161 drove 35.2 miles for a total of 573 miles. We did do some work on Wintroff Road, as Mr. Swat was just talking here. Did some ditching work along the roadway, and also put some riprap in to control the water run down the side of the road. We had, the biggest issue we have with water running down the sides of the roads and in the ditches is when it's running too fast, it undercuts the roadway and takes out the side, the other part of the road. So we have been actively for the last 3 months working on the roads that we have identified as issues with water runoff and ditching problems. Winshaw Road was one of them. Boyle Road was another one. Bullfrog Road, we did finish up Bullfrog Road at the intersection of McLaughlin this past month. And we also went down McLaughlin on the left-hand side of the road down to the curve where we had issues with undercutting. That road was redone last year, and we already started seeing undercutting in the ditch line, not even a year later. So we did do some work on that. We started the mowing, 1 pass of mowing Bobby did last week. He's done, I think, pretty much the entire township has got 1 pass.
All but Brent and Sanders.
All but Brent Sanders Road. And then I also, last week, I ended up working on the mower for a little better time. It should be good to go for the 2nd pass, which hopefully will be starting here in the next couple of weeks. Some things we got going on, you'll see next week we'll be out, our intent is to be out and cutting, as Mr. Schwartz said again, we have some pipes that are undersized in our roadways, and we are trying to address those as we can. Each year we slot in so much money to address those issues. So right now we have, Boyle Road has 2 places that is getting pipe cut, and replaced. Another pipe on Winshaw Road, we're gonna look at, cutting also, working on that. And then over at, Sanders Road at the S turn, if you travel that road, you'll see the right-hand side of the road is falling apart and falls away. It's got a big dip in there, the pipe is separated, in multiple places going across that road. So we have, that's gonna be cut and replaced also. So next week, like I said, we'll be out cutting those roads and getting them ready for when, we can, schedule to get those roads dug up and those pipes replaced. Yeah, we did, Wendy and I worked on the bids this past week for road construction work for 2023. That should be going out in the Gettysburg Time here, hopefully by the end of the week. And
Will
we'll be-
the 4th?
Excuse me?
They said the 4th will
The
be
4th?
advertised.
Good, the 4th, we'll have that out in the paper, and then we'll be taking bids, from the, contractors that want to bid on those projects. The roads that we were looking at this year are Winshaw Road, Petro Road, Old Waynesville Pike, that's pretty much it, isn't it? And the pike there on Sanders. I think that's the roads we got slotted, Bobby, I'm listening to you right.
Yeah, I think you got them.
I think that's the ones. Now, I wanna let you know, we're putting these bids out, that doesn't mean that we're gonna absolutely do those roads. Those are our intent. Our intent is to do those roads if they come within the project, as far as what we have in capital reserve and also road money to do the work, which I think is like $288,000. So if the bids come in higher than that, then we have to pick and choose and priority which road's gonna get done, which road's not gonna get done. Unfortunately, we don't have the resources to do them all in time, so we have to do them as we have the money. We're hoping with some of the projects we got going on with Township this year, that will allow us to do all these roads, and get them done this year would be great. The only thing I would also like to say as far as on the roads, we have on May the 13th, e-cycle here at the township. So there's on our website, you can look on our website to see what electronics you can bring in that we will be receiving that day. We have a flyer on the bulletin board back here if you'd like a copy. That e-cycle will be from 8 a.m. until 11 a.m. Liberty Township, Carroll Valley, Fairfield, Hamilton Bend, Highland, and Freedom are in part of that e-cycle. So anyone living in those townships are allowed to come in and participate in the e-take back. But again, I would highly recommend that you check before you don't bring TVs in here that are inside wooden boxes because we can't take them. We can't take refrigerators, we can't take vacuum cleaners, those type of things that we will not take. Microwaves, batteries, we're not allowed to take those things. So there is a list of what you can bring and there's a list of what you can't bring on the back bulletin board there. All right, that's what I have for the road department's planning.
No meeting, no report. We don't have anything submitted for May as of now, so we probably won't have a May meeting. We do have a meeting scheduled for June.
For June? Okay. All right, anything else, Judy?
No?
Secretary Treasurer?
Nope.
Thank you. We have nothing under old business. So we're getting ready to go to new business, or anything under new business that the public would like to comment on those items A through B. This is the time that you can have an opportunity. Do you have any comments under new business? Okay, we'll move to our first new business item. It's going to be A, is consider the resignation. Mr. Jim Holler has sent in his letter of resignation as being a part of the zoning hearing board. His schedule with his, he tours all over the country giving seminars and things, and it makes it very difficult for him to be a part of the planning board on a regular basis, and to try to schedule a hearing around his schedule is very difficult also. So he sent a letter of resignation in to me. I did speak with him about this. I'm going to make a motion at this time that we accept his letter of resignation.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is, I did get talk to different people and let them know that this was going on. I'm gonna make a motion at this time that, maybe some of you that know this person, maybe you don't, but Robert Millette, that lives on Petrol Road, we're gonna nominate him to replace Jim Holler as the new zoning hearing board member. Do I have a second for that?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And the next thing we're gonna do with the zoning hearing board, I was actually, happy that I was able to, when my conversation with Jim was to convince him to let me reappoint him as the alternate zoning hearing board member. And he did accept that, appointment to be the alternate. That way, if we have someone that cannot be, and he's in town, we can call upon his assistance, because he has the experience, to be here. Plus, we have a zoning hearing scheduled for May that we actually scheduled for him. So I'll make a motion that we appoint him as the alternate zoning hearing board member.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen.
I have an attention to matter here. Mr. Barlow, I believe that we need to make a motion to allow for an additional zoning hearing board member, but I don't think we currently have alternates on our zoning hearing board, so I believe we might need to make a motion to add alternate to the zoning hearing board. Is
Yeah,
that
can you
correct?
give us
So
that
let's
there?
go.
I don't know the answer to that, but I should
Could
be
we
able
do
to
that
find.
in case we need to do that? I just want to
Yeah,
cover
let me-
that.
Move on to something else, let me check the.
Yeah, we'll come back to that.
NPC.
Okay, we can do that.
Thank you.
While you look that up. All right, number B is consider a motion to approve request for a waiver of subdivision, plans, for Airedale. And that is 25QQ00012000 and 25QQ00101300, and also the Sharnito lots, on our Airedale. I'm gonna table it at the time, for right now. Mr. Stem was not able to get us, all the paperwork that was necessary for us to do that waiver. So I'm gonna table that to our next meeting, and hopefully he can, get those things in, by the June meeting.
Point of information, is Airedale Trail a private road?
It is, sure is. So I'll make a motion to table it. Do I have a second?
Yep. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, now we're gonna move down, because that took care of B and C. We're gonna move down to D, consider request from Brenda and Robert, how do you say that? Bourne. 306 Glad Hill Road. This is block 25A18-0027000. They, want to build a single-family home on this place. But the problem is they live there now, and the home they live in is not in good shape. They have 90 acres there, so they would like a waiver from the board, to, live there until they finish new construction of their new home. I know this is something we've done in the past for other residents. I also know this was something we did with the Carmel Nuns. We gave them temporary resident, I believe that was in a mobile home, for 2 years, but they were asking for 1 year, requesting 1 year, to 18 months, as they build a new home.
Or extended to an 18 month.
Right, so I'd like for us to do, what does it say? Currently 6 to 9 months out for a start date, so that's a while. We can give them a grant for 1 year, and if they need an additional time, they can come back for an additional extension. Wendy, is that something that, when you speak with them, that they would be,
Yes, I spoke to
applicable
her,
you?
she's aware of that, if her project takes longer, she'll keep coming back and requesting and updating on her project. So I would make it, if you're gonna make it for 1 year, would we do 1 year as the date of this meeting?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, so we're making it
That's your motion.
1 year, yep, making a motion that we give them, the variance for 1 year, dating today's date, until May of, 2024. We'll have a second.
Second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Ray, thank you, very good. All right, the next thing we have on the agenda here is you have an estimate here for Hall's Electric. We had Hall's in here last month, did some upgrades to the electricity in the building, for the kitchen area. While they were here, we had some, Wendy had the lights in her office were flickering and carrying on, so we had them look at those. They replaced those with LED lights. But while they were here, the lights that were coming out of there, they were gonna put in here. But upon inspection and inspection of these lights in here, these are old ballast lights that were put in back in whenever. These lights are leaking and they're humming and they're also not very energy effective. So we had them come out and give us a price to replace all the lights in the entire building, putting in new LED lights and more efficient lights for $2,585. Did you guys have an opportunity to review that?
Yeah, is this the only estimate we got?
Well, we got the original estimate before with the other two companies, but this is the only one that we were considering tonight for this estimate here.
Why is that? Because they didn't get back to us?
Yep, pretty much that's how it is. The other ones, we got two other estimates that were like $4,000.
Okay.
Originally, this was, they came in with the original proposal, and they were like $4,000.
And Wendy's gonna look into any rebates.
Wendy's gonna look into the rebates. Blaine talked back to me today.
With the contractor, yeah.
With the,
I'll look into
with the
rebate.
contractor. He said we have to go through the power company
Yeah.
Yeah.
for the rebate.
Right.
They think there's not gonna be very much money, maybe $20, but they
No,
put,
I'll
$20 is better than no dollars, so, like I said, we have not scheduled this, but one thing I want to say to you, like, these lights and all, and the renovation that's went on in the kitchen area and stuff like this, we originally put this in our 2023 budget.
I realize that.
It's in there, so it's already in the budget. We'll just bring it to the board and say, hey, this is where we're at. This is what we're getting ready to do next. This will come out of that $12,000 that we already budgeted for, building projects.
I agree, they were just questions I had.
No, no problem, no.
Due diligence.
We have 30 days to respond to it. That's totally up if you wanna do tonight, or we wanna go out for more bids, we can. I don't have a problem with it, no matter what you want, my number.
Well, if we had other bids at $4,000, $2,500 is a hell of a lot better.
Huh.
So, I'll make a motion that we accept the bid and get it done.
All right, you got a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Mr. Misko, we're down to you, bud.
Yeah, the MPC provides that you may appoint by resolution at least one, but no more than 3 residents of the township to serve as alternate members. I don't think you did it by resolution though.
We did not, we have to do a resolution.
Can we do a motion resolution, unwritten resolution, then I write it up later?
A resolution doesn't have to be in writing, it
Right,
can
so
be a
we
verbal.
can do that now, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I suggest they amend their motion
Yes, thank you.
to say that it's a motion to pass, a motion for a resolution
Thank you.
to appoint.
Okay, all right, so we'll amend that motion. I'll amend the motion, previously for the alternate, and we have a resolution to add an alternate member to the board of zoning hearing board, and naming that particular person is Jim Holler.
Okay, thank you.
Is that all you need?
I
Well,
think
you
what
need
you're
a
doing-
second, and you need to vote on it.
All right, so I have a second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right,
Point
thank
of
you.
information, I think you need to amend the resolution to state whether it's appointed or elected.
Those are all appointed,
Okay.
yeah, they're all appointed. Okay, well, that's the only business we have in the township tonight, so I will make a motion for adjournment.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you everyone for coming out here. Like I said, hopefully, if you have any more questions, if you can, reach out to TMCA and they can try to help you.
I'll send you those and say